A girl in the shape of a monster in the shape of a girl. A girl in the shape of a monster in the shape of a girl. A girl in the shape of a monster in the shape of a girl. My intentions for this lesson were really around using the creative process to explore a text.
Today we focused on three main characters in the triad of bullying: the bully, the bullied, and the bystander. So the main one was the bystander, Brady. The bullied was a girl named Sophie, and the bully was a girl named Adrian.
One normal, unspecial day, Adrian comes to school and she announces, "It's penalty day." I shared, read directly from the text, The Shape of the Girl, as a way of inspiring them. It set up the imaginary world that we were going to be entering and gave the kids the context. The story that we were dealing with, the fictional story, dealt with subject matter that was actually nonfiction. It was true to a particular incident in the West, in Victoria, where a girl was murdered. A 14-year-old girl was bullied and consequently lost her life. The kids were like, whoa, this really happened, and it made it really real to them. And everyone has to write FP for flea proof on their hand.
Brady, she's the bystander, and she's kind of this insecure girl who knows what's going on, and she doesn't really try and make an effort to stop it. I think it's because she doesn't want to be excluded and bullied as well.
Brady as a teenager again. You know something, Trevor? That's her big brother, who she talks to quite a bit. By the end of grade 4, penalty day had become as complex as World War II.
Adrian is the character who is the bully.
No one is to have contact with it from first period until lunch. If you have to address it, do so during homeroom. On the school bus, it has to sit on the 4th seat on the left. If it talks to any boys, it will be dealt with by me.
The next character is the main character, which is Sophie, and she is in the triad of bullying, the bullied. In my opinion, she doesn't want to project a vibe of negativity to her peers, so she keeps those inner feelings to herself and doesn't present them.
But who the enemy was had become entirely simple. Now all the girls had FP written on their hands. All the girls but one. I don't know why it was Sophie. It just was. After that, you saw the students sort of brainstorm using rule on the wall. In this case, they were generating ideas around the characters and creating a character profile. What do you guys remember about the rule on the wall strategy? I did mention it earlier. What's the purpose?
We list characteristics from the book, and the inside of the character, see what's they actually feel, reading between the lines. And outside the character?
Outside the character, it's what other people think of the character themselves. So basically, by doing this, you get a better understanding of the character, both like what he or she thinks of himself and what others think of him or her.
Knowing what we know about Brady, what can we do to sort of fill up the middle? How does she think? How does she feel? What are some things she's probably thinking?
Like to do the right thing or do what's right for her.
What's the right thing? That's a great question she might be asking.
I guess she thinks she's a bit insecure about herself.
She's kind of lonely. Like, she has friends, but they're not her true friends. She doesn't think that they're actually good friends.
So now let's go to the outside of the figure. How do you think the outside world sees Brady?
Ordinary.
Ordinary? So being ordinary is great?
I think people see her as like not very confident or outgoing.
Not confident, not outgoing? Reserved?
In the point of view of whomever is bullied, she may seem as powerful.
The fact that she could be viewed as being really powerful is very true. Wow, you guys have a lot to go on here. So in a moment, when we get to the point where I want you to take on the role of Brady, see if you can zero in on some of these things, some of the beliefs about her, and use that to impact your dialogue, okay? We went into an A-B conversation strategy where the students were just asked to more or less improvise a dialogue with each other. I gave them the opening line, and in a way that was, again, another way of inspiring or challenging them. So their challenge was to then take those opening lines and run with them. Person A, you're going to be Brady. And your line to start is going to be, Sophie, don't go on the field trip. Person B, you're Sophie. Your response is going to be, but why? We have to write an essay. And then you're just going to continue the conversation from there and improvise and see what happens. Begin. I guess to add on to that, we've worked a lot on improvisation and the fundamental concepts of drama. We've worked separately on the fundamental concepts of dance. Part of my hope today was to bring those two things together. I try to make myself available during that process to eavesdrop and add. I tried not to add too much at that point and just sort of let it happen, but I think once the students feel like they've created something that's almost audience worthy, it's helpful for me to hear, to get a sense of what they've been working on. So checking in on their preliminary work and giving them some feedback. And sometimes they're just doing a sneak preview for me and no one else really sees what's going on. So it looks like a little bit of chaos ensuing in the classroom, but it's actually pretty exhilarating and exciting for me as a teacher to walk around and hear conversations happening and to see for the most part that the kids are in role and they're sticking with the task. After that, the students were challenged once again. We sort of went back to the top of the cycle, challenged to incorporate a dance movement sequence into their scenes. We're also going to try to incorporate a little bit of our dance unit that we just finished. Well, you're going to pick 3 Brady words, or three words total, and I'd like you to come up with some sort of a movement sequence that goes with those words. So for me, I might pick pressure. I'm going to come up with 4 beats worth of movement for pressure. My movement might be something like this. Okay, just like that. A second word might be trust or distrust. So me and my partner might decide to do something where we're just turning away from each other. Okay, 4 beats worth of movement. And then a third word could be insecure. So insecure might be this. Okay, so my movements would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to try to combine our dialogue, our acting, and our dance. We're going to try to put these two things together into a piece, a dramatic dance piece. I wanted them to feel free to explore how dance might be inserted into a dialogue. And some kids, as you saw, came up with some things I wouldn't have thought of. So it was that to me is it's just such a great bonus when you see kids coming up with their own creations. 2, 3, 4. When I'm circulating, I'm really looking for evidence of exploration, evidence of experimentation. That's my favorite part of the cycle, the creative cycle. And so whether it's dance or drama, I'm often looking for students on their feet, engaged physically as well as, in a verbal way with each other. Embody a girl or embody the spirit of the characters without having to act.
We tried to put everything, all we thought, all our feelings in one small little dance, but it was just hard to stay focused and add moves over and over again.
Sophie, don't go.
Why not?
It's not safe.
But why? I'm so confused.
Trust me, we're friends.
If you were really my friend, you'd tell me what's wrong.
I'm trying to protect you.
But I don't want your protection anymore. I can take care of myself.
Help me help you.
No!
You needed something good there, huh? You could feel it, right?
It looked so natural. So that's what I liked about it.
Me too. And you took some risks. It felt risky a little bit, but they were really good risks. And once I saw that you were prepared to take the risk, as an audience member, I relaxed and I was like, okay, I'll go there with them. And that's really good when you can get your audience to go with you into this imaginary, like, in the real world, we don't walk around and talk like that and move like that. So you took some good risks there.
There is no bad feedback. They're just trying to help you to succeed, like, in a positive way.
The sneak preview is more or less, I think, what is labeled on the creative process as sharing preliminary work. I've just called them sneak previews because it's a sort of a catchy phrase and the kids understand what a sneak preview is. They get the sense that this doesn't have to be the final polished product, and it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, when it's not perfect, it gives us it gives us something to talk about. And that's really what makes a drama program unique, is when you realize the work you're doing is really just, it's for the group, it's for the classroom, and sort of what happens in the drama classroom stays here. The kids leave and a new batch come in and a completely different experience unfolds. Stuff happening. Kadisha again?
The way your body just kept moving to the sound, and it was just like over and over again. It was just really good, yeah.
The preliminary work is, it's sort of setting up that safety net, letting kids have a test run at something and to receive some feedback, formal feedback from me or from other students, and to go back and make revisions and, ultimately feel more confident once they present their final work for some sort of evaluation. Good. So she liked the fact that you guys had a lot of relationship going on. There was a lot of interaction. They understood how bullying can go so wrong, and they got a sense of the seriousness of the topic. So even if there are light moments and moments where kids feel like, maybe something funny happens in the play, they have the background knowledge that this is based on some pretty serious material. I think it helps to anchor and just to remind the kids how relevant this topic still is. It's not just a story about somebody named Sophie. It gets played out in classrooms and schools all over the country, all over the world.
Why don't you just listen to me? I can't protect you anymore. I'm so frustrated.